Hi there, Scrap and Ames fans. How are we all today? I am here with a Project Life spread. Now, this was for the August Shop and Crop Challenge, so I'm a bit behind, but here it is anyway. It was a tic-tac-toe, which I've never done before, so I've chosen to do the frames, embossing, and alphas. So I decided to do a different take on it and try it in a Project Life spread. There I am trying to figure out which one it was. But yes, so I wanted to do something a bit different and try it in a Project Life spread. Just, for something a bit different. I originally was going to go with a 12 by 12, apart from the fact I've done a lot of 12 by 12s lately, so I wanted to mix it up with a Project Life. I just, wanted to be a bit different. So as you can see, I've got some cards and things all cut down. I saved you the hassle of seeing that decision-making process because that can take a while. In the end, this becomes sort of a fairly easygoing spread once I get going. And I had a bit of a plan in mind as to where the embossing was going to happen and how I wanted it to happen, and some of that didn't quite go according to plan, but it's scrapbooking and we just roll with it. Alright, so this frame is an old one from a Project Life kit, or I brought when it came out. I think it's like the currently edition, so yeah, old enough anyway. And what I'm doing is I've grabbed a little tag label piece from my Kitaholic Kits tray, which is sitting up the top there, and has just journaled a little bit about what the photo here is about. I think this photo is, we did a day trip to Wollongong to see some family, stopped along the way at a park, can't remember where, and Pokemon Go was the big craze then, so we decided we'd do some Pokemon hunting around the park. Yeah, so that was a bit fun. We also did it forever when we were at the beach, but yeah. Alright, so that's done. Now, here I'm going to try some embossing. Now, I play around with some stamps as to what I do and don't want on this piece, just as to what fits. I try, as you can see here, I play around with some ideas. And as you see, I want that blue acetate piece just to pop over the top, just to give that card a little bit of extra character, I guess. And I really liked this stamp, so I was fiddling around to see if I could make it work on here, but it just doesn't, which is fine. That's what happens. So I try a different one. All right, here we go. Now, I have recently discovered that with my embossing ink here, whilst it works, this is the VersaFine, I think. It's actually Versamark that I've discovered people use, and they are different in that this is a black ink and the other is like a white, like opaque or whatever it is, ink, so you can't actually see it when you emboss. So that is my mistake. I've used the VersaFine with no issue whatsoever, except I think on this card, to be honest, as in you can see it doesn't quite emboss as well as I'd like. But I will be getting myself some of the Versamark. All a learning process. So this is new. Originally when I, ages, like years ago, embossing this, that, and the other, and I was like, oh, okay, not sure that really interests me. But then as I've moved, I guess, through my scrapbooking journey, embossing was sort of something along with the mixed media that I thought, I'd like to give that a bit of a go. So that's what I've done. So you can see here I've stamped my stamp, I've put some embossing powder over it, just a pink one. As you can see, it doesn't work real well, and then just heat it up. So wasn't quite the way I was hoping it would go. But as I said, you can fix anything by just adding some embellishment. So whilst I don't cover where I've embossed, I try and add some little tiny word stickers here, or phrase stickers. These are Tim Holtz ones, just to add something else to divert the attention, I guess, away from the semi-failed embossing attempts. Now, this video will go up and it will be like when will this go live? It might go today, which is the 4th of September, or it will be definitely tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. So, yes, as I said, this was the August challenge, but I recorded it. I didn't get to it, but nonetheless, you still get to see the technique that I'm using, regardless of the fact that it was a challenge for August. And as I said, I've never done tic-tac-toe before. I've seen them a couple of times and thought, oh, I don't know about that. But this time I gave it a go. So, yeah. So as you can see, I'm doing 2 lots of embossing here. So I've decided to emboss this card as well. This one works a lot better than the other one. Not really sure if I let the ink dry too much on the other one. Even though it's not a quick sort of set ink, I think I played around a little bit much trying to get organised with putting paper underneath. I think I saved you that hassle. The one thing I did find with embossing Project Life cards is it does make them bend a little bit. Now, once they go in an album, it's not a big deal. Just a word to the wise to be careful. That's why I was sort of flicking the heat gun away a little bit just to give it a moment to cool off. Now, I do decide that I'm going to emboss it again, I think, and in and around these other 2 pieces that I just did. Yeah, so I embossed some cameras on here, and it works fine. I was a little bit worried that because I'd already embossed once, it would maybe muck up that first one, but it didn't at all, so it was great. It worked really, really well. Pretty happy with that. And I did debate whether or not I embossed, actually, simply because they looked really, I liked the way that they're stamped, but yeah, I stuck to my plan. There you go. You can see there that just changed and, like, you know, embosses it, melts the powder, whatever you want to, whatever the technical term is, I'm not sure. But you can see that the change from that powdery colour to that solid blue. Just adding some Chamel enamel shapes or pieces, dots. There you go. All right, those 2 embossing pieces are done. All right, now I think, what do I do? This one, I went to write this one. Yeah, as you can see, I've got my alphas out to do sort of like a title photo card and change my mind on which one I'm going to use, which you'll see in a sec. I'm pretty certain I did change it. Yep, I do. There we go. So this is bringing in this 3rd element here of the tic-tac-toe, and that was the alphas. Now, I've done the 2 embossing cards. I do have a frame there, and I'm going to use another frame you'll see me use shortly on one of those photos, and some other alphas as well. So this just says, just written in the gong, I think. But I wasn't originally going to use this because I love this photo. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous sort of family photo in regards to the blue of the background with the sky and the lighthouse behind us. I don't know if you'll see it in the close-up, but my youngest daughter is pulling the most crankiest face. So, oops. But anyway, those are the moments we capture. That's what it is. So this one I'm just going to put some embellishing on. I play around with this card. So what I did in the beginning when I was setting up this spread was pulled out some of my Project Life cards and as to which ones I was going to use. They aren't all from the same kit. They are different kits. I can't think for the most part what they would be. Prismatic comes to mind maybe for the most part, but anyway. So yeah, so as you saw then, that weekend one I'll actually chop up and use on one of the other cards shortly. And now I'm just embellishing. Again, this is a really nice photo. Very casual, but the background is, I think, gorgeous. So I don't actually put too much on here that takes it away, I don't think. Pop these little cool sunnies that say good vibes. Because, I mean, who doesn't have good vibes when you go to a nice, warm, sunny beach? Especially when you live here in Canberra and it's freezing. Well, it is at the moment. And that stamp set there is a Heidi Swap stamp set I got in a Kitaholic kit a while back. All right, and for this one I just use my StazOn ink. Just because it sets better on there. And I think this one says love you always or love you more or some sort of sentiment like that. Alright, so just done that one. And that card, or that photo I should say, is now embellished, and that will do. Again, just so it doesn't take away from that lovely... What do I put it? Do I put this on? Oh, tell a lie. Look, see what happens when you don't have the layout sitting next to you. I just did another voiceover for a video that will go up in a few days, after, or a day or two after this one. And again, I was really productive on the weekend as such, and thought I'll put all my layouts away that I had just sitting here, and yeah, this was one of them. So, whoops. Usually I put them away as I do their voiceovers and upload them, so I know that, you know, I can look at them and refer back to them. But I didn't. Oh well. Now, this is the photo I'm going to use the frame for. I play around, as you'll see, as to yes, no, or maybe. I think I played around with it in the planning stage of this spread, but I do use it. And this is also where I add some more tiny alphas, you'll see shortly, which I don't make you sit there and watch me fight with all the individual letters. You just get to see the finished products. All right. All right, so I put, as I said, those tiny alphas on, which you'll see shortly, which I'm always fighting with these Kaiser Craft ones. And I actually put the phrase fun in the sun along that sort of thicker piece of the frame. So that was good. That also brought in more of the alpha part of the tic-tac-toe. These are the most finicky alpha stickers ever, I think. They're so tiny and so fussy. They just sort of bounce off when you're trying to get one. You get like a whole heap of the other letters that you don't want. There we go. Done. Just looking through my little enamel pieces, dots and here, there and everything. There we go. And then I add a little arrow there. And I think that one's done. Oh no, I journal on this with my little white pen. I love this pen. Best thing ever. Love that you can write on photos. Because you don't always have a spot for journaling like this. But I wanted to put that it was cold. So we went down there with jeans and you know, jackets on. It was September, I think, last year. But the kids decided that it wasn't that cold and that we would test out the water. So some of the photos you'll see in a minute of my son is of him standing in a rock pool with now short and t-shirts on, because, yeah, that's what they did. They had at least pre-planned and brought spare clothes. So I think this spread is actually for my son's album. Yeah. So I do a family album and then I do an individual kids album. So what I usually try and do with things like this, which is sort of like family days, is I will try and put them in their books as well as the family album. So like this one, which has particular pictures of him or something. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't put, I have two mindsets. Sometimes I put only events relevant to the children in their album. So, you know, special events like if they've got assemblies or awards or sporting stuff or whatever. And then in the family album, I was like, no, I'm just going to put like these sorts of things. And then, yeah, it's whatever the mood takes me, to be honest. Whatever photos I've printed off. Now, I had a bit of thread here in, I think it's, is it green or yellow? I can't tell from here. Can't tell from my little tiny editing screen. Just to add, it needed something, I felt, behind that word. Just to sort of add a bit more interest to it, make it stick up a bit more other than just being on the fun foam. And it just adds a little bit of texture to the spread as well. Some Heidi Shine. I do add some Heidi Shine to this, because otherwise I think it just looks a bit boring. I mean, the word at the top of the card says awesome, and then that says weekend. But yeah, it was too plain. I needed to add something. Oh, that's right, mate. I have issues with date stamps. I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but I think, yep, I've got it, and then I stamp it like here, and it's wrong. As in, I've got the numbers back to front. I can never figure out which way the stamp goes, and I should always stamp it on a spare bit of paper first, I think. Yeah, a bit special there, but anyway, again, it's scrapbooking, and it can always be fixed, which you'll see shortly. I add like a little banner tag thing to it and just write something in it on it. I can't remember what it was, which you'll see probably in the close-ups. See? I'll use my little stapler attacher thing to staple that on. And look, problem solved. Wouldn't have even known that there was the wrong date written there. Anyone else have issues with date stamps and do that sometimes? They get them back to front. Please tell me I'm not the only one. All right, what do I write? Can't even remember. Maybe I just put something about it being a day trip. I'm not really sure. Right, now we add the Heidi shine. Oh my god, no I don't. What am I adding? See, I don't even know. I only did this later. When did I do this? I think over the weekend. Might have been one of the ones I got done. There we go. Oh no, maybe I was sticking down the twine. That could have been what I was doing. It was popping up. Yeah, I think that might have been what I was doing. All right, bit of Heidi shine just to add a bit of bling to that little card, just to finish it off. And then I'm happy with that. It doesn't look too boring. It's got the date. It's great. So I just put that aside to let it dry a little bit first, obviously. I think all I do is write on this one. So, yep, I just journal a little bit on this card about him being in the rock pools. And I think that's it. And then this layout, or this spread, is almost done. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video and videos if you've seen a few of them. Just remember to like, so I know that you're liking what you see. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Also check out my other scrappy pages, which I have links to them at the end of this video. Yeah, so I'll see you soon. There'll be a couple of videos up. I'm trying to stick to a bit of a schedule of having at least 3 a week with maybe a bonus one over the weekend go up. So I hope you enjoy them and do my best I can. And I will see you soon, I guess. What am I doing? Probably fighting with my layout. Oh, no, there you go. Should get a close-up shortly. There they are. Alrighty. Again, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.